Ses. Ses deneme 1 2 3. Kapalı. Kapalı zaten. Ses deneme 1 2. Ses. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Ses. Ses. 1 2 3 4 5. Ses.
Ses deneme 1 2 3 4 5. Ses deneme 1 2 3 4 5. Ses deneme 1 2 3 4 5. Ses kontrol 1 2 3 4 5. Ses deneme 1 2 3 4 5. Ses kontrol 1 2 ses deneme 1 2 3 4 5. Ses kontrol 1 2 3 4 5. Ses prova 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Ses deneme 1 2 3 4 5. Ses deneme 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Ses prova 1 2 3 4 5. Ses
Uh, a very good morning to all of you. And we waited for 5-10 minutes extra to see more faces, and I think people are still juggling around one room to the another, and they're trying to adjust their timings. So we are starting anyhow. So this pre-event workshop that we are organizing on. The theme is empowering grassroots level organizations to the .ngo top level domain. So we all know by now that Public Interest Registry, the PIR, has launched this special domain for NGO civil society organizations worldwide. And Martin is here with us, so representing PIR. So he will share the details with us. What is it about and why it's very important to have a specialized domain for NGOs. So that the digital voices of millions of organizations at the grassroots levels can be brought to the digital platform. So I welcome all of you. So I am Sayed Qazi, and I represent Digital Empowerment Foundation, which is a partner to Public Interest Registry, that we are promoting this .ngo and ENGO program globally as well, especially in South Asia and Southeast and Africa region. We are promoting this program to bring grassroots level organizations to the digital platform. So I welcome. First of all, I invite Martin Botterman, who is the chair of PIR board, to be on the dais. Welcome, Martin. Thank you for being here with us. Next, I welcome Mr. Andrew Mack. So he represents PIR and especially Africa, programs. Then I welcome from Pakistan, Mr. Shehzad Ahmed. So he will share with us his experiences in, .ngo, ENGO program. What is the situation to promote the NGOs in Pakistan online? And lastly, of course, Osama. So please come to the dais. So we'll talk about why DEF as an organization chose to co-partner with Public Interest Registry to promote this ENGO program. So he will talk about his experiences also. And now I request Osama to just start the entire discussions. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks everybody to be here. My name is Osama Manzar. I am founder and director of Digital Empowerment Foundation. We are based in Delhi and all across the country. We work in South Asia, and we have several programs in some African countries as well. So the reason why we are here are the following. We all know that we have hundreds and thousands and millions of NGOs, depending which country you belong to. In India, we have 3.3 million NGOs. I'm sure this must be one of the highest if you really compare with the numbers as far as the registration is concerned. So similarly, there are hundreds and thousands of NGOs who work at a grassroots level. We only get to see those NGOs in such forums who are, front-ending, who have good funding, who have a better outreach. But there are millions of NGOs who are at a grassroots level whom we do not know, who are functional, who know about the local language. And if you really see about the whole WSIS program or the IGF program about creating information society, it is important that the organization who are at the bottom of the pyramid should come online, and we should share the information that they have been having. Considering those, we started an ENGO program about 4 years back, and about 5 years back, and it is further started being supported by PIR. PIR, as you know, is the manager of .org, and now they are going to launch .ngo later this year. And so they have been supporting this program. The whole idea of this program is to help grassroots NGOs to come online. Treat coming online as a digital literacy initiative, digital empowerment initiative, but sharing their information, using web as a medium to outreach and so on and so forth. And as an introduction, I would like to share with you that in the last 4 years, we have been able to bring about 3,000 NGOs online. And that is not only in India, that is in India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, Kenya, Cambodia, South Africa, Uganda, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to share the numbers, but almost 3,000 NGOs online. And that gave us a lot of encouragement that the kind of content that they have and they would like to share is amazing, It also brings transparency. It also brings indirect literacy, digital literacy. For example, you don't have to tell them how to use the keyboard, how to use the IT technology and tools. But as soon as you get a website, you start figuring it out. It's like having a TV, and then you don't need to really go through the training program of how to use a remote control, So once you have a website, you know how to build a content, how to share the content, how to go online, and so on and so forth. And with the help of PIR, we have been able to also make it not only regional or national as far as India and South Asia is concerned, but also help to go, all over the world. And it has gained momentum in the last 1 year, also because PIR is launching .NGO, which is literally going to give you not only a chance to go online, but to go online with identity of the sector that you belong to, with validation and so on and so forth. So we are basically here to tell you how it is empowering. Shahzad is here. Manvi, why don't you come on the stage from Cambodia? And so we have regional stories to share with you. And at the end, we would like to have a discussion with you that how we can take it forward in different other countries, region, with the help of associations and so on and so forth. So I would like to stop right there by giving you this introduction. And we would really want to make sure that in the next coming years, many countries and their NGOs go online and use it as a digital, empowerment tool rather than just going online with an identity. Yeah, thank you so much.
We do need the microphone with all the noise behind us.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, I would say try without.
Yeah, it's working now.
Thank you. Before I ask the next panelist to talk about ENGO and the PR thing, can I request all of you to just come forward so that the noise is behind this room also. So if you can come, front, these chairs are vacant, so that we can talk and listen to each other properly. If you can come. So anyways, I next welcome, of course I welcome Manvi for being here with us, and also to share your Cambodian stories of ENGO, the experiences that you have with us. I now invite Mr. Shahzad Ahmed to talk about his Pakistan experiences of how to, because Pakistan, as we know, is also an evolving country in terms of development, civil society organizations, the space of the civil society, how to, expand the space in the development domain and all. So he will share how the civil society space is being tried to be addressed in terms of bringing them online, digitally enabling them, and bringing their voices to the digital platform for national and global significance. Yes, Mr. Cesar.
Thank you, Cesar. Thank you, everyone. Bytes for All is mainly a human rights organization focused on information and communication technologies. And we work at national level. And most of our work revolves around freedom of expression, digital rights, digital security of human rights defenders, and we also implement a campaign and a project on tech-driven gender-based violence. So that was mainly the context, and we started working on these issues way back in 2007, 2008. We realized that these issues need mainstreaming with the larger human rights movement that was already active in Pakistan, because not many people would understand the linkages of online with offline, or linkages of internet rights with other human rights. And that was a very cautious effort at that time, that we wanted to work with larger civil society movement. And then we wanted to develop and provide solutions as well, that at how their advocacies or their work could be promoted and helped and supported with the use of technology and tools. For that purpose, it was in 2012 we organized an innovation lab where we brought about 70 people that included activists and media professionals, technologists, and all different range of people together, and then we wanted to develop some of the ideas. While we had been working on these, on the sidelines, these small little initiatives, came NGO program through Digital Empowerment Foundation. That was a very welcome initiative for us, that what we were trying to achieve in one of our key result area, which is network building at national, regional, and global level, to promote our other three key result areas. So we started organizing some of the sessions with local civil society organizations. And then only then we realized that the need and the requirement is so urgent and important, that if you look at Pakistan's political dynamics and geography, and then from that point of view, and then there is a huge, very strong civil society movement, about 47,000 active organizations all over the country. Very minimal online presence, and then if the presence is there, is not very well utilized in a way that not properly managed. So when we started working with these civil society organizations, we were able to reach out to organizations right up in the mountainous Gilgit-Baltistan region, to the coast line in Balochistan. And then we have 4 provinces, then it's autonomous region, which is Gilgit-Baltistan, and then AJK, which is Azad Jammu and Kashmir. So we could bring civil society organizations from all these different areas to our training events, and then most importantly, it was also very important and interesting for us to see that the range of issues these organizations were working. So that was the first time when we realized that, okay, there are organizations who are working on, for example, sexuality rights in Pakistan. We didn't know that at all. And then we came to know that, okay, there are organizations who are working in the environmental movement. They don't have any online or virtual presence, and they needed that. So that is how we then expanded it and made an effort to reach out to all these important organizations who otherwise were very well known for their work in the regions, in different parts, in their local vicinity or the communities. They have been doing good work. They've been doing good research. They have been doing some innovative actions as well. But hardly anyone would know what they are doing. And then also the importance of social media. That is a very important emerging space for all of us. I mean, a country where probably physical spaces where you can organize your advocacies or you can organize your your activism is shrinking rapidly, and it is in kind of like very compromising shape now. But it's the digital spaces and virtual spaces which are going very strong, ranging from media to individual activists. So it was very interesting mix of activities that we could promote using the NGO program, that we could bring people, we could bring them online, these organizations, link them with social media tools as well, and then engage with them on developing more innovative tools. So it's all in progress. We now have a network of about 143 organizations in Pakistan. But I mean, look at comparing to what the number of organizations who are working throughout the country. We are about 200 million people in Pakistan. So I mean, we still need much more effort to reach out and to really bring people to the fruits of the technology that, I mean, usually we see that's only like, I mean, urbanish or more privileged people. No, I mean, it needs to reach out to those who really need and in those far-flung areas. So I mean, that's I will I mean, later we can take some questions as well, but that's how the whole strategy is. That, I mean, not only it is helping to bring these organizations online or these communities online, but it also helping promote several different advocacies in a very difficult environment, and then our particular focus, which is internet right and digital rights. So I mean, that is also going through. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Shahzad. And I think as Shahzad has mentioned, sorry. Yeah. As Azad has mentioned, because the entire South Asia region, as we all know, is typically it's a subcontinental size with a lot of challenges, diversity of cultures, development parameters are very there's a huge variance in development parameters also. And as he has highlighted, one significant point is how difficult it is to bring the grassroots level organizations to the digital platform, to bring their voices online, keeping in mind the government approach and the approach of the authorities, and also that so progressive as of now in terms of using ICT tools, digital tools to promote the grassroots organizations, to bring their voices online, to promote their activities in law and all these things. So I can understand the challenges. Before that, I request Martin to speak. Just let me welcome a gentleman, Jeff, here. He represents Africa, and he's from unwantedwitness.org. So he represents this organization. So he'll talk about his also experience in organizing programs of NGO program in Africa. In Kenya, recently he was a part of the organizers, and now he's moving on to Uganda to organize a similar program to bring to enable digital voices of grassroots organizations online. So one small thing that those who are present here also can explore and talk about why this NGO program is, and maybe you can also take this program to your own respective countries and the communities to bring the digital to make organizations online. So if you may be interested, you may also please discuss in detail with us, and also Martin can highlight why this program, NGO program, has been launched, and especially why .ngo has been brought out as a globally special domain for .ngo. Maybe he can also guide each one of us to take this to the next level. So now I request Martin to talk about his entire vision and philosophy about .NGO and the PIR program of eNGO that he can talk about. Thank you, Martin. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Basically, we realized also years ago that NGOs are coming up. NGOs become increasingly important in this world. I mean, they've been around for many decades, but with the globalization, the role even takes more up, both locally and globally. And the internet is there as an excellent means for them to expand themselves, as you who've chosen to be here at IGF all realize already. I mean, that's clear. Yet, many NGOs are not conscious yet about that. And indeed, that's why initiatives like the Digital Empowerment Foundation are doing excellent work in helping NGOs to realize how to do that and how to get it better. Now, as a global player, the Public Interest Registry, who's been serving .org already for many years, and indeed many NGOs that did go online but didn't choose their country code, chose for .org. So it's a community we know, we're aware of. But how to enhance the identity of NGOs? And the internet is a perfect means for that as well. Now with the new TLD opportunity to have a closed domain, which is particularly for NGOs. So as a .ngo, you add credibility to your presence online. That is the intent. That's the intent we're trying to serve as a global registry. And we believe it's important and we believe it can work. We do everything we can do to make it work. And it will only work if the NGO community, as we all know, NGOs don't speak with one voice, but share some of the same challenges. If the NGO community helps us to make this a useful domain, an added value domain, that adds that extra credibility that you need if you want to have, for instance, sponsors globally, for instance, want to be recognized by other NGOs. So next to this NGO almost trademark, a kind of certificate with you get also access to a kind of Facebook page, a kind of NGO directory where other people can find you back, and you have some data on that that you can manage yourself, presenting yourself, adding to your transparency. Going around for many years now with NGOs around the world, we also found that there's specific extras that we can help make available online, like a Donate Now button that, for instance, cuts out the middlemen. You don't have to have this agency that manages your funds for you. You can directly have your funds presented at your own bank account or a bank account of your choice, things like that. Now, all these things is just something we believe in and we're willing to put our effort in to help make work. And that's why I'm here as well. So.
Thank you, Martin. By the way, Martin Botterman is the chair of PIR board, and he has been instrumental in pushing the idea of eNGO globally also, and also one of the main persons who has promoted this .ngo domain, especially for the grassroots level organizations across the globe. Thank you, Martin. Now I request Andrew Mack. So he presents. He is a member of the launch committee of the PIR.NGO. So he can tell us about his experiences and also the whole idea of also why that NGO level has come up and the launch and what is the next for all of us.
Great, thank you very much. Can everyone hear me? I know that there's a lot of background noise, so I'm going to try to get very close to the directional mic. It's the operational hazard of having played in bands before, right? So I'm not sure if my presentation is going to come up or not, but what I'm going to do is to amplify on a few things that Martin mentioned and then tell you a little bit about our experience around the world. I'm noticing the eNGO network program, and I'm thinking about the number of countries in which I or a member of my team have given a presentation about .ngo.ong. And I think we've reached up over 20 or 25 at this stage, where we've been, and it's quite literally been all around the world. What's so exciting about it is the level at which the community has really responded. When we sit and talk about this, my first slide is about the evolving internet. It shows all of the different dot somethings that are coming along. And you may think that it sounds like a lot of noise, and in some ways it may be a lot of noise, but for the NGO community specifically, for the nonprofit community around the world, we think that this is a tremendous opportunity, in part because .ngo is directed specifically at our community and has been designed working with that community, working with you. We've had meetings with hundreds and thousands of NGOs around the world in different places, looking specifically to try to get your feedback. What do you need? What is important for you online? If we're going to launch this new community, what component pieces does the community need to have that are going to make your lives better, your work more efficient, your mission more successful? And so, going to my next slide, which at some point will come up. Maybe not. Is it? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So basically, we oriented our work around, as Martin said, we started off with the desire to see, can we do more to help the nonprofit community, the NGO community around the world? And the general feeling around the world from all the meetings that we had with NGOs was, yes, there's more that can be done. So what we did is we focused in on 5 areas that we know you have asked for, that roll really up into two core ones. First, safety and security online. We know that that's extremely important. We have a tremendous number of new NGOs that are coming online, and many members of the NGO community are themselves newer to the web. Second of all, the ability to be seen. And one of the things that we recognize is there are a lot of NGOs that were very interested in, there we are. Okay, so that's our slide about the different, there we go. Okay, so if you can see, I'm reading up from the bottom. Safety and security identified as a major constraint and a major importance. Second of all, the idea of being able to get online. As we talked about earlier, there are a number of NGOs that are themselves just now getting online. And so the feedback we got was there would be a real value in having an easy way for NGOs to get online. The third, to connect with new partners. Martin mentioned this in passing. It is exceedingly important as we look now at the donor community, which is more and more saying, if you want a grant from one of these large organizations, you need to have a local partner. You big international NGO need to have local partners. How are we going to find them? How are they going to find you and understand the good work that you're doing? But really, it rolls up into 2. The most important 2 that are at the core of all of this initiative. Visibility and funding. Visibility, because if people don't know the good work you're doing, they can't understand it, they can't search you out. And second of all, funding. Because who in this room knows the largest donor in the world? Which group gives the most money to NGOs around the world? Any ideas? It's not governments. It's not UNDP. It's not Microsoft. It's individuals. Individuals are the single largest class of donors all around the world. They dwarf all other donors by some massive, massive factor. Why? Because there are more people around the world who want to help you do your mission, achieve your ends, than we could ever find from any government or multilateral agency. But how are they going to find you? So this is one of the central focus areas of the .ngo platform. Let me go through a couple quick slides, and then we'll take we'll go on and we can take questions at the end. I mentioned the portal. The idea of .ngo.ong is that it is in fact a community. It's not just a website. You get a .ngo, you got a .ong. There's a portal that comes together with it, and a directory, so you can be found. You can put up a basic website, and you can be found. It's the next slide, sorry. There we are, thank you, sorry. So that's about the portal. The idea is that there is a gathering place for people in the NGO community. And that's obviously important, because if you want to find people, and you want people to find you and you want them to have the chance to donate, this portal makes it very easy. Next slide, please. As part of that presence online, you have the ability to put up your own portal page. That's important for groups that are just getting online, who may be small base organizations, who can use this as their website. Can also, as Martin mentioned, it's a way you could, each individual NGO can put a donate button on. So you can go to the largest single source of funding, those individuals, who they can find you and they can donate in real time. So 2 quick thoughts. Next slide, please. One is validation. The feedback that we got universally from the NGO community was, this is going to work in part if you make it really about legitimate, genuine NGOs. And so what we've done is we've developed a very simple process whereby people can self-certify on the one hand and show their credentials on the other hand. It's not difficult. The goal is not to make it difficult. The goal is to make it so that any NGO could do it, but that there's enough of a, if you will, a speed bump so that people who are not members of the NGO community, who are scammers and this kind of thing, trying to take advantage, they won't do it. And it is, again, very much designed by and will work with the ongoing participation of the NGO community itself, including in your regions. So the big vision, what's the big vision? Next slide, please. Thank you. More NGOs online. We all agree on that. More connections between North and South, whether they be NGOs in the North and the South, whether they be funders in the North and NGOs in the South, and then the connection to funders all around the world. And so at the very bottom, you see the globalngo.org is the place that you can go to get much more information about this. We are very much hoping that people will send in an expression of interest so that we can keep in contact with you and we can get you signed up as quickly as possible when this starts to happen in real time in January. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. I think 2 things that also I wanted to know from Andrew. I was about to ask Andrew also that, when it's going to be launched officially. In January, you said, January next year.
General availability? General availability for the world will be in January, yes.
Yeah. So it's a couple of months away. So I think it's all getting ready. So from next year, we would hope to see this, the .ngo, ONG things coming up in a big way across the world. And one important, significant feature of .ngo, ONG that interested me very much is the validation part, which because NGO's credibility and the validation part is a challenge for, especially in developing countries and all. So this is one significant part that has come up in a big way, and is going to work, I think, very significantly wonderful for for more legitimacy and validation of the NGOs. So now I request Manavi Chim. She's from Open Institute, Cambodia. She will share her experience about NGOs being online, because she has also organized a couple of advocacy programs, workshops in Cambodia. She will tell experiences, the challenges, and the possibility of taking the .ngo ONG level to the next level in her country. Yes, Malvi.
Oh, yeah. Good afternoon. This is my pleasure today to meet all of you, and particularly to meet with relevant institutions such as .ngo and PIO, which that support the Open Institute so far to work on the NGO program in Cambodia. So as a previous speaker say that we should have stronger civil society in every country, that development cannot absent the contribution from civil society so as to democracy in each country. So they are an urgent of change, and they are the complement to the government that to fill the gap of what the government can't do to have the democracy process happen where in a fair manner in each country. we talk about internet governance, we talk about freedom of information, freedom of internet, we talk about internet right and human right. So do we know that how many in the age of information, how many poor people around the world that they are vulnerable, that they are not access to the internet? Many NGO that they do not have their own website, so that they are underrepresented in their country and also in the globe. And as you just say that .NGO is a global portal where people can gather for funding, for approach to donor, and for something. But what happens if you don't have a website for your own organization? So you are vulnerable. In the age of information, it creates an opportunity for you and also create the gap that make you somehow vulnerable from the world as well. And for example, in Cambodia, we cannot have the, we cannot say, we cannot talk about freedom of information or freedom of expression without connection. So in order to have the connection, you need a website so that you can present your project, your organization, your mission, your concern to the government and also to the world about your concern of your target area. So since we start, the Open Institute start this organization in 2006, then I do a survey that there are hundreds of NGO in Cambodia, but the survey I do is that I interview 28 NGO in Cambodia, and only 18 NGO in Cambodia, they have their own website. But most of the website is in English, not in Khmer language. So Cambodian people, we speak Khmer, so this is another problem. So that's why we set up, first for the organization, we set up women web portal in Khmer language. And luckily that last year, I approached Osama, which Osama has a very good program about NGO. So I think this is a very good opportunity for NGO in Cambodia to take this chance to have their voice raised and to visible themselves to the world. So we cooperate with Digital Empowerment Foundation and also with the support from PIO. Thank you very much. So we organize NGO workshop in Cambodia, which we brought together about 50 NGO from the grassroots level, from the provinces to Phnom Penh. And we create around 20 websites for them. And they are very, very happy. They have both website in English and in Khmer, in Cambodian language. They are really very happy, and we still communicate with them. They still communicate with us and with the technical group to create more website. We plan that at least we have 50 website for NGO. So as I just say that more new technology emerge, this create more vulnerable on ICT knowledge, on strategic use of ICT, and no access to the internet. So this is why the Open Institute also provide training to them, not only to create a website, but we provide training to them, train how to upload the content, how to maintain the website, even if it is maintained by a group of people in the United States. But somehow that we need to train them about this. And maybe you know that until now the website in Cambodia is not many as you think, because because of technical thing that it is in Khmer script, it is very difficult to create more difficult 10 times to the English version. It's very difficult. So if you have a website in Khmer language, then this is a valuable one, which NGO can create it, can create for people, for NGO in Cambodia. They can upload content in our own language and also in English language. And this is the value of NGO in Cambodia. Looking forward also to promote democracy and social accountability in Cambodia, which we want to promote the civil society engagement in social accountability. We discussed with the Ministry of Interior, which the ministry, they have long-term strategy and planning for the social accountability, which they have the provincial accountability group that they receive complaint from the people. But through the assessment, to the last assessment, only 30%, more than 30% of the social accountability box are open, and only more than 30% complained by citizens that response by the local authority. So the Ministry of Interior recommend that there should be a computerized system of social accountability. And I think this is the good chance for the Open Institute. In connection with the NGO, we create website. We create a website for social accountability. For example, we can say that we create a web portal, a good governance web portal for people to complain, to submit the complaint to the government. So we work with the Spiders, with this program for ICT in developing country. We for 5-year strategic plan, so in which we include NGO in this 5-year strategic plan from 2015 until 2019. And I hope that PIO and .org and DFE will continue to support the Open Institute to work on this strategic plan for 5 years, so that the Cambodian people can benefit from this. And Spider is now visit Cambodia and to talk with SIDA in Cambodia for this strategic plan. We are not only include NGO project inside our strategic plan or proposal for 5 years, but we also include wireless community, because it is very important for people, those who live in remote area without internet connection, how they can connect to people around them and to voice their concern and participate in democracy process. So this is about Cambodia. I hope that I give you some image about what happened and what the collaboration between Cambodia and DEF and .NGO and PIO. So may I express my sincere thanks again to you all for your support, and I hope that we will receive your support so that 5-year strategic plan we can implementation, so that for the benefit of Cambodian people. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Manavi. I think one significant point that you highlighted is social accountability and also governance structure of the NGOs and how bringing on NGOs online can improve the governance system of the NGOs itself, as well as increasing the transparency and accountability index towards more, efficiency and performance of the NGOs. So I think I request the audience also to, note down few questions if they have, so that, since we have less time, another 10 minutes we have. So any questions that you may have for the panel, you can just quickly raise those questions. But yes, our last and the most important speaker is Jeff from unwantedwitness.org. Jeff, why don't you come here and speak? I think Manavi, you can just push a little bit. One seat is vacant here, I can see. Jeff, please come in.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Jeff. I'm from Uganda, East Africa. I'm indeed delighted and honored to be here. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to PR, DEF, and our partners into this for this great noble cause, and we indeed appreciate. Africa is known for high-level poverty, diseases. We're known for low internet coverage, high illiteracy rate. We're known for young democracy, and to the extent that even when the coming of internet, I think most governments are so much really interested in curtailing the enjoyment of the online freedoms like the offline freedoms before. My coming here and meeting Aritu last year, who explained to me how important NGO is, I realized that we can only be able to make a change in Africa if the voices of the people, if heard, but at the same time, we deal with the evidence. Africa is known, particularly governments, speaking for their own people, but the trend has changed. Government do not represent the true issues from the ground. And we feel the presence of NGOs online will give a true picture of what's really on the ground and where people are coming from, the real issues people are suffering, but at the same time, there will be those who are willing to support will be hearing it from the horse's mouth, that the issues that affect Africans will be easily received from the real people. And solutions, we believe, will be found if citizens of Africa speak for themselves. We happen to be really experiencing over issues of civil wars. There are quite a number of groupings, I can say, but from our perspective in Africa, particularly East Africa, we feel that one, I think our focus now, which is taking the NGOs online. Because like Def has been saying, we also happen to be agreeing that the NGO are the second largest information deposit all over the world. The government is the first, probably others will follow. But little from where organizations like NGOs work is known. Little is known, and we feel once this information is taken online, I think a true picture will be picked. Two, we feel that I think getting NGOs online will increase accountability, like my colleague from Cambodia say. When there are voices that demand, probably there are chances that the government will feel pressurized. So working towards helping NGOs going online, that is really, like I said, it is one. Two, we also know, like in my beginning points, is that actually because of poverty, the coming of NGO with less costs involved, of course, that is going to support, make it possible. Because in our context in Africa, having a website, one website, for instance, for an organization like an NGO, it can cost not less than $100. And there are very few organizations can afford that because most of them are doing voluntary work. And NGOs in Africa do begin where there is an absence of government, where a government cannot really intervene in situations where people are suffering, people are experiencing problems, and the government is not there. We happen to see these voices coming on board. And therefore, we need to support them. I agree that the beginning is good, but the sustainability aspect is one of the things actually that is likely to hinder the NGO. We launched NGO in Kenya a few weeks ago, and I saw really the high demand of different organizations coming really to take advantage and seeing this new opportunity in the NGO. Two, we are also doing the same in Uganda. However, one of the things I would love to inform you that we are likely to face more challenges when it comes to the government seeing NGO online. The government is going to feel threatened, and like in our context in Uganda, the government is so much really interested in surveillance, broking, doing farming and fishing. So I think PIR, DEF, and other partners, I think it is I think an opportune time for us to think about the safety. It's good actually the official from PR has mentioned it. We need to really to raise above. We are going to see more websites being pulled down because of the issues. We are going to see more people arrested. We are going to see more people, being intimidated, harassed because of what they do, what is their, when it comes to their visibility online. So I think we need to raise that. So this year, we are looking forward to have launched this project in Uganda, but also we are targeting Southern Sudan, which is the youngest country in the world. We're also looking at Tanzania in the East Africa. We're also looking at Burundi. So we're looking at generally 5 nations. And in Uganda and Kenya, I think we have more than 200 NGOs already, even before these organizations are actually getting online. And we are looking forward to have, for instance, in Uganda, there are over 100,000 registered NGOs. So in the next 3 years, we're looking at having maybe 50,000 the next 3 years. And probably that from there will be using NGOs to increase their participation, not only in governance, not only in accountability, but of course to demand for service delivery. Because if they do not demand, the government is going to be relaxed and they will really do nothing to the issues suffering or happening or affecting in the communities. So I'd love to take a little more time. If there is any question or answer, thank you so much for the opportunity. Looking forward to that.
Thank you, Jeff. I think what you have highlighted is a scaring part of the challenges of NGOs being online, the government surveillance and this phishing and everything. And I think the issues that you have highlighted is what we are talking today in Internet IGF 2014 also. The issues around internet governance. So the issues that you have highlighted, I think, quite significant, and we have to be very careful with all of us. So thank you, panel members. I think any questions from the audience about the eNGO program, .NGO program, domain, and so we have our distinguished panelists here. You can have any questions you can raise. No questions?
Realizing it's 1 o'clock, so it's the time as well at the end. But basically, I mean, the grassroots stories is why it makes so much sense to also get something on a global level. So connection on a global level, even at grassroots, becomes possible. We're around and there's information on this. I think it's worthwhile following how this can really strengthen presence of NGOs globally. So thank you very much for your attention in this. And no, we will continue to support this very much with great organizations that nationally seek their activity, for their way forward. They'll find us to help because this is what it's about, making a difference.
Yeah, just to add one more line to what Martin said is that bringing NGOs online is not rocket science. It is just, rather than they reach to us, we need to reach to them. And that's what our experience is in most of the places. And that it is not about selling domain online where somebody comes and does everything. Every one NGO that has got online in the last 2, 3 years or 4 years that we have got, none of them could have gone online if we would not have reached to them. And if you would not have provided a tool saying that this is available in your language, the way you would like to do it, if you can't do it, we are ready to help and all that. So this is not like click, click, you got a domain, click, click, get a website, It's not going to happen like that. And if we are, on the other side, the story is not a single NGO whom we met, and thousands of them who had said, no, I don't want it. So that means everybody knows internet, everybody knows that it's beneficial to them, everybody knows that it will help them in one way or other. Many of them who we have got online, because of they do crafts and other works, their side organization have got online, have started doing e-commerce and all that. So it's not only a small examples, but none of them would have really got and come to do on their own. That's very important. So on that note, we would like to say that any of you who belong to any country, wherever community that you have, I am sure there are hundreds of community that you belong to, and you have, we would like to help. More than 200 are online from East Africa. We are not based there, but we help them to get online, through one agency there, one organization who is dedicated, passionate and all that, who help them how to collect content and things like that. But once they are online, then the sky is the limit, that how they can really convert it into as an empowerment tool. That's very that's the telling story. And it's from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, from Nepal, from parts of India where the roads do not go to them, but they work there and they are online, But yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah, but internet does. And
the only last thing that I would add, which is it's just the perfect ending segue, I think, is that these are initiatives that are about you as the NGO community. They're to serve you, and we only need one thing from you, and that is to help spread the word. Because for exactly the reasons that Osama just mentioned, there are an awful lot of places where the road does not go, but the internet could. And there are no NGOs that we've met around the world that do not want to be online. But we can only reach them as a community with your help. And so we look forward to partnering with you. We look forward to getting your feedback, and we really appreciate everything that we can do together to make sure that people know that these things are coming, these new tools are coming, and to get them to take advantage of them so that we can all do our missions and be more successful, raise more money, all those good things. Thank you.
Thank you. In fact, last week I was in Tripura. It's in Agartala. If you know, it's one of the smallest state in India, northeastern part, close to Southeast Asian border. So, as you were talking about going to the NGOs and bringing them online. So, in fact, 50 organization NGOs came. And it was amazing to see, despite the smallest state, one of the smallest states in India, at the remotest part where the infrastructure and the connectivity is very a difficult challenge. But yes, still the organizations came because with the local partners, were just, they went to these NGOs, they motivated them to come on board, and, this workshop was done, and it was fantastic. And in fact, the government has now, the local government there has agreed to, because there are bamboo clusters, handicrafts clusters in that state, because the economy of those areas is based on this activities. Even the government has now decided to bring the clusters online, because because it makes a lot of economic sense also to bring the small clusters, handicrafts, handloom clusters, to bring online by the government also. So this is one example of why we need to reach out to the NGOs to bring them online. But there's two last things that I want to just say before winding up this program is, one is that we look forward that .ngo domain moves comes up in a big way next year from January, February, and I think because that whole NGO community can have a new identity, new presence, and a new position in the global, I think, domain, and the global level we can have a new identity. And secondly, perhaps in the next IGF we can come as an NGO community. .ngo community we can all represent here. Those who are here, the members are here, the partners are here, and also those who are willing to be partner to this program. We can also specially connect to all of us, the panelists here. So next year at IGF, maybe we can look forward .ngo as a community can have a united voice here talking about challenges and issues for all of us together. Thank you, panelists, and thank you, audience, for your patience and 1 hour spending with us, quality time. Thank you so much.